What's going on, family? Back again with another segment of the Pagan World Ancient Religions. So last time, Professor was going on about killing sacred cows, and three or four different Zeuses, and then some other people wanted to come up and make themselves look presentable. So then they start using Zeus's characteristics for their own gods. Oh, we got Jupiter, and he's a mighty god, and he's this and he's that. Like, what? So let's dive in and see what all this is about.
Priestesses interpreted the leaves on oak sacred to Zeus that rustled in the breeze. Or perhaps they interpreted the sounds of wind chimes. Scholars disagree. The oracle, however, was, along with the oracle of Apollo at Delphi, as well as with the oracle of Zeus Ammon in Libya, one of the three great oracles of the ancient Greek world. According to the historian Herodotus, who chronicled the wars between the Greeks and the Persians, all three oracles were in origin Egyptian.
Ooh.
And how did Herodotus know this? Herodotus writes, and I quote, "The priests of Zeus of Thebes told me." Zeus of Thebes was Ammon, or Ammon-Ra, the sun god. But I've interrupted. Back to Herodotus. The priests of Zeus of Thebes told me that two priestesses had been carried away from Thebes by Phoenicians. One, they said, they had heard was taken away and sold in Libya, the other in Greece. These women, they said, were the first founders of places of divination in both countries. Are you skeptical?
Uh-huh.
Herodotus was as well. When I asked them how it was that they could speak with such certain knowledge, they said in reply that their people had sought diligently for these women and had never been able to find them, but had learned later the story which they were telling me. Herodotus then compares his testimony with what the priestesses at the shrine of Dodona told him, namely that two black doves had come flying from Thebes in Egypt, one to Libya and one to Dodona. The latter settled on an oak tree and there uttered human speech, declaring that a place of divination from Zeus must be made there. The people of Dodona understood that the message was divine, and therefore established the oracular shrine. Both the priestesses of Dodona and the priests of Egypt.
Well, two Egyptians went off to make a shrine.
May be summed up in this quote from a standard reference work of the time on ancient geography. It is impossible to penetrate into the origin of the oracle, and we may safely dismiss the tales related by Herodotus of its Egyptian origin and of its connection with the temple of Thebes in Egypt and of Zeus Ammon in Libya. More recently, scholars have decided that the certainty expressed by earlier scholars is less than certain.
Oh.
The ancient world was much more connected and global, as it were, too, than scholars used to think. What we can say safely for our purposes is that Egypt's influences, although difficult to trace, were likely many. The ancient Mediterranean world shared common conceptions about the way religion worked. And one such conception was a shared belief in the possibility of consulting the will of Zeus through divination. Experts could be found in oracular shrines in both Greece and Egypt. We can also observe certain continuities or connections to myth and literature. In Homer's Iliad, for example, Zeus sends omens by means of his personal bird, the eagle, as well as in dreams. After Thetis has successfully supplicated Zeus, and after Zeus has angrily put Hera in her place, Zeus contemplates a plan of action to help Thetis' son Achilles win the glory that Zeus promised Thetis he would bestow. Zeus settles on a false dream. Homer tells us how it worked. Now all the other gods and men, lords of chariots, slumbered the whole night through, but Zeus was not held by sweet sleep. And this plan seemed to his mind best, to send to Agamemnon, son of Atreus, a baneful dream. He addressed the dream with winged words. Up, go thou baneful dream, unto the swift ships of the Achaeans, and when thou art come to the hut of Agamemnon, son of Atreus, bid him arm the long-haired Achaeans with all speed, since now he may take the city of the Trojans. For the immortals who have homes on Olympus are no longer divided in council, since Hera hath convinced the minds of all by her supplication, and doom hangs over the Trojans. Was this Zeus the same Zeus whose oracle could be consulted at Dodona in the wilds of northeast Greece? Perhaps it was. Achilles invokes the Zeus of Dodona rather than Zeus on Olympus when he prays for the safety of his comrade Patroclus. Achilles prayed, standing in his courtyard, pouring out the wine as he looked up to heaven. And as he prayed, Zeus, in his thunderhead, listened. Lord Zeus, god of Dodona, Pelasgian god, who dwells afar in the snows of Dodona, with your barefoot priests who sleep on the ground around your sacred oak, as you have heard my prayer before and did honor me, and smite the Achaeans, so now, too, fulfill my prayer.
Alrighty then. Well, that's nice to know how that went. Achilles was a bad man. He was quite the warrior back in the day. So I could believe that. I could totally believe that. Some people might not. Some people, spiritual, you pray to the heavens, pray to the universe, and it'll give you an answer. Make a little sacrifice, pilgrimage to an oracle here and there, But, anyways, I try to keep it short. Let me talk about this in the comments below. Do you like it? Do you not like it? Anybody got anything to contribute to the conversation? Keep it respectful. And as always, be blessed. I'll see you later.